Hi, welcome to Ed Foodie. Today we're going to do a absolutely delicious chicken dish. It's called chicken with coriander and walnuts. And it's basically, you can do the chicken any which way you want to. The chicken's not the important part. The sauce is what's really key for this recipe. And I'm going to use walnuts today. I think the original recipe called for almonds. Catherine doesn't care that much for almonds. So I'm going to use walnuts, and I've had this before, a similar dish that's made with a walnut sauce, and it's actually very good also. You could probably even use pistachios, your favorite nut, probably even cashews would even work. So if you want to just substitute the nuts for whatever your favorite nut is, and it'll still be a great recipe. So let's get started with this. The first thing we're going to do is use our food processor. And we're going to not make a paste necessarily, but just finely chop these ingredients. I've got an onion, and I just roughly chopped it up here. I've got 4 cloves of garlic. Again, I just roughly chopped them up. And I've got about 1 inch of fresh ginger, again, that I've kind of roughly chopped and peeled. So what we're going to do here is put them in our food processor, and we're going to blend these up to just get them finely chopped, but not necessarily into a paste. We'll see how we do here. One thing I almost forgot, I've got a jalapeno. You can use any, kind of a hot pepper. Jalapenos are just what I usually use. And again, I've seeded it and just have it roughly chopped. And we're gonna add that and also just get that where it's so finely chopped. Okay, so that worked pretty good. So I've got a fairly large frying pan. I'm going to put in about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to add our onion, ginger, pepper mix. We're just going to cook this up till it's a little bit tender, starting to turn a little bit brown. I'm going to add 2 bay leaves. And we'll just saute this just for, 2-3 minutes. Okay, so what I've done with my chicken, the recipe calls for about 2 pounds, and it's for a whole chicken. I'm not really keen on dark meat, so I just got 3 chicken breasts that I've just kind of cut into, nice chunks. And I'm probably only going to cook this maybe 10 minutes because these were the thin chicken breasts. You don't have to cook the chicken all the way because this is going to end up, we're going to add some more ingredients and then we're going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So, the chicken will get cooked. This is just to get a nice maybe browning on the chicken. I've got 1.5 tablespoons of ground coriander. 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt. So we're just going to continue to saute this until the chicken absorbs all these wonderful flavors. Just maybe a couple of minutes. I'm going to add just a little bit, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Now I'm going to add, the recipe calls for 100 milliliters of water. It's about 1/2 cup. So you can put 1/2 cup if you want. Okay, so this has been simmering for 5 minutes or so. It's got a nice, real thick sauce in there. Most of the water has cooked away. So now, this really depends on what kind of chicken you were using. If you were using big cut up pieces of chicken or a whole chicken breast, you'd want to add about 2/3 cup water, cover, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Since I'm using these little thin chicken breast pieces, I'm just going to add maybe 1/4 of a cup of water. And I'm going to cover and maybe simmer for 10 minutes. Main thing here is just to make sure that chicken is fully cooked all the way through. All right, so while our chicken is finishing up, it's just about done. Now for the best part of the sauce. I've got 1/4 of a cup of your, like I said, your favorite nuts, and I've chopped them just with a manual chopper, so they're pretty fine. And like I said, I'm using walnuts. And what I'm doing is putting them into a blender. You could probably use the same food processor, but I don't know if it would get it really smooth enough. So I've got my 1/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts and 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. And we're gonna blend this till it just gets nice, creamy, and smooth. Okay. Yeah, it's like a nice thick paste in there. That's exactly what we want. Okay, now our chicken is done. We're gonna put in, I got about I guess it's about 1/4 of a cup of freshly chopped cilantro. We're just gonna stir that in. And then we're gonna add in our walnut cream. So let's stir in our walnut cream. Okay, so for the final finishing touches here, I'm just going to stir in about 1/8 of a cup more of the heavy cream. We'll stir this in, get it nice and warm. And I think what we'll do is I'll make some rice. We'll serve it over rice. And sprinkle the top with a little bit more cilantro, and that's going to be wonderful tasting. Okay, we've got it all served up here. Let's see if I can get you a look at it. I served it on a bed of rice and just sprinkled some additional cilantro, fresh cilantro on top. Now let's give this a taste. It's been a while since I've made this. It is so rich, creamy and smooth. Oh, this is just, yeah, it's just wonderful. One thing I will do in the video when I go back and post it, it called for a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to say 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon because I don't like a whole lot of salt, and I think this could do a little bit less. So we'll do 1/2 teaspoon. But it's so good. Oh. The walnuts and the heavy cream. The jalapenos just enough to, I mean, it's not really hot and spicy, just enough for a little nice little flavor. So I hope you like that. Chicken with coriander and walnuts we used today. That's right. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to Foodie right over there. Thank you very much.